The US national team development program is looking to have a staggering amount of first-round talents graduate from its ranks this year. Consensus number 1 overall pick Jack Hughes is accompanied by the likes of Trevor Zegras and Alex Turcotte up front and Cam York on the back end, just to name a few. But not to be forgotten is an offensive Swiss Army knife, a player who can dominate below the hash marks as a playmaker or sniper that oozes elite hockey sense. It is for this reason that I believe Matthew Boldy is one of the most dangerous offensive creators of the 2019 NHL draft. When I begin the video creation process after I have done my research on a player, I like to start by identifying the unique ability the player possesses. What makes him special from the rest? Whether it be his skating or vision or combination of traits, I like to build up from the skill set that gets me excited about the prospect. Matthew Boldy is one prospect that I am fascinated to watch develop because, well, I can't quite put a finger on what makes me so excited about him. He isn't flashy and he won't blow you away with end-to-end rushes or hands that seemingly pull the puck on a string. But when he is on the ice, you tend to notice that he makes the right plays, and more often than not, it's the better play. The winger's ability to adapt to a situation, process what is in front of him, and execute are all high-end, and he's able to do it while playing different roles on any given line. An above-average finisher around the net, he can be a triggerman if necessary, or if you need a playmaker, his elite vision and puck skills culminate into a creative force below the hash marks. Tie this all together with an elite hockey IQ and you have a player that is an offensive chameleon, excelling in whichever role his line mates need him to be. This has effectively been his role on a stacked US NTDP team led by Jack Hughes. Playing mostly with Trevor Zegras or Alex Turcotte as his center, Boldy has been an extremely reliable complementary piece to the two pivots this season. However, it's this dichotomy between seeing him excel as a secondary piece and wanting to see him drive a line's production that has me so conflicted about Boldy's talent level. On the one hand, he's not a traditional play driver in the sense that his average skating ability limits his options to push play up the ice. However, when the puck is at the top of the circle and below, his elite combination of vision, IQ, and puck skills allow him to be an extremely effective creator of offense for himself and his teammates. Boldy's strengths lie in his brain for the game. His ability to anticipate plays, reading and picking apart the defense, and then executing is his strongest asset. Whether it be the situational awareness to attack defenders and shoot for gaps, or understanding where on the ice the puck needs to be transported to, Boldy has an extremely mature grasp on the offensive side of the game, both as a playmaker and goal scorer. He also makes these small, nuanced plays away from the puck to set his teammates up for positions of success. Boldy begins this play with the puck at his own blue line, and it's a good example of the dichotomy that I was talking about. This rush doesn't look particularly dangerous, although it is a 4-on-3 because Boldy is lacking speed up the ice and fumbles the pass into a defender's skate. However, the play develops into a zone entry and Trevor Zegras swoops in to take the pass. This is where Boldy's awareness and anticipation comes to life. First of all, Boldy recognizes the potential for a mini 2-on-1. The weak side defender is isolated and has to respect Zegras as his partner was beat. Because the backchecker is late, Boldy sees the opportunity to burst into the open gap to create the 2-on-1. But watch how he eliminates the strong side D-man. He begins his movement towards the middle, lets up, and does a subtle head check to his right as if he's deciding to cut back. This lull in head movement freezes the defender for a split second, which is all the time Boldy needs, as he then turns on the jets and attacks the gap, leaving him wide open for a Zegras pass. It's a small detail, but it was the difference between him having a completely wide open shot or it being contested. Subtle play that highlights his anticipation and is capped off by his quick release. On the power play now, Boldy supports his teammate in the corner by providing a pass option, and notice how he keeps his stick on the ice in a position to receive the puck. As his teammate fights off the check, Boldy recognizes that the play is going to be worked down below the hash mark and positions himself accordingly. He's already a step ahead of the play as he opens his hips and squares himself to the pass and immediately plays the give and go for a great chance for his teammate. It's a perfectly timed pass too, as it is received just as his teammate gets open. great display of instincts and vision. His mind is always calculating ways to advance the puck and create offense, even early in the build-up. In this shift, he makes two smart plays that allow his team to remain in possession of the puck. Here in the neutral zone, Boldy takes the bounce pass off the boards with his momentum going away from the direction of play. He knows he isn't going to beat the oncoming player and elects to send another bounce pass to his teammate advancing the puck. Further into the shift, the puck is being rung around for a breakout and Boldy steps in and beautifully lifts the forward stick to allow the puck to reach the point man, keeping possession for his team. These two small plays are what lead to a scoring chance and ultimately a goal for the US. Small plays that don't seem like much but go a long way in a game of mistakes and shows off Boldy's maturity. Boldy has quite the bag of tricks to draw from to make him a dangerous offensive threat. His shot consists of a quick release that results in not the heaviest of shot, but it's very accurate. He is also very good at opening his hips, bringing them square to the net to get maximum torque for a more powerful shot, especially on his one-timers. His release on the rush is nothing special, but in this particular instance, I like his fluid motion and quick pullback. He also doesn't need to adjust his hands and shoots from a position where he has options to either pass off, drag it into the middle, or shoot. The winger's hands are deceivingly very good and borderline elite. He has the capacity to deke through a defense, but it won't be what he is known for. Part of that is because oftentimes he doesn't try to do too much or overhandle the puck. He picks his spots and maybe only needs to make one special move to get his advantage. I do like how he can attack defenders on the rush and use his puck skills to cut towards the middle for a better angle when he's coming down on his off wing. The 6'2" forward is also a quality passer and uses his vision to his advantage to find teammates when he is below the hash marks. This play in particular blows me away as he uses his size to dig the puck loose and fire a no-look pass towards the slot for a great chance. The biggest knock on Boldy coming into his draft year has been his skating. Watching his stride in his draft -1 year, I noticed his acceleration was rough and his stride was short and inefficient. For an example, here he is in a foot race on the back check. The Muskegon player starts with a slight advantage as he is already turned the right direction, whereas Boldy has to transition, but his push off his right foot isn't the strongest. You like to see guys really leap off the anchor foot into a crossover and take off, but Boldy's push was lacking. When looking at his stride, two things stand out. One, his leg extensions are short even though he is in a decent knee bend. You're taught to fully extend the leg as you push off for two reasons. Maximum power is generated from a full stride, and it also allows you to fully load the glide leg so the next push has maximum power. The second thing about Boldy's stride here is that he's wasting a lot of energy in his upper body. He has a good arm swing, but his upper body seems too uncontrolled. It's a bit wild, and he is bobbing up and down. However, his skating has been addressed and he's built up a longer stride with a power skating coach. Taking a look at his stride from this season, and it looks a lot better. Good extension and controlled upper body. He still isn't the fastest of players, but he's improved to become average. This is the reason why I wouldn't classify him as a traditional play driver. To me, Mitch Marner, Johnny Gaudreau, Connor McDavid are the pinnacle of NHL play drivers as they are able to dictate flow of play with their speed and shiftiness that allows them to bring the puck out of their zone through the neutral ice and over the opposing blue line. When we look at Boldy through the neutral zone, he doesn't quite have the ability to push play up the ice compared to a Trevor Zegras. He doesn't have the extra gear to burn a defender wide or the shiftiness to cut back towards the middle in the neutral zone. This play is from the beginning of the season. Boldy has an entire runway to pick up speed and attack the defender at the blue line, but instead he elects to dump the puck in. You'd definitely like to see this look a bit more dangerous for a projected top 10 pick, but he still makes the smart play and dumps the puck in. I also love that he uses his anticipation to win the puck back. Anyway, it's not the biggest knock on him, I'm just trying to highlight a weakness of his. Straightaway speed isn't everything, and he has addressed other parts to his game like using his edges to create space for himself. I actually do really like his skating ability when the ice shrinks in the offensive zone and he has less room to work with. He is strong on his skates and can protect the puck well and uses his edges to get away from defenders or survey the ice. In conclusion, Boldy's skating ability is adequate. He won't be a burner and lead a rush up the ice, but he has the ability to keep up and create in the offensive zone with his edges. Defensively, I haven't watched him enough to really speak to his ability. I've only seen maybe 70 minutes of Boldy on the ice. His play along the boards with his size and footwork are good and will help him win puck battles in his own zone. He's also cool under pressure and can evade forecheckers with his smarts. The only negative thing that stood out to me as I watched him was that there was a bit of consistency in communication lapses for him. A couple of times away from the puck, Boldy would get caught puck watching and not communicating with his teammates. It's hard playing defense because there's less incentive and it takes more energy to stop and start and defend opponents who are dictating the play. That's where hard work comes in, and I think Boldy's shown it decently enough. He wants the puck. Awareness, on the other hand, is something that I look for in how a player scans the ice. Is his head on a swivel or is it fixated on the puck? Here are two examples where Boldy is puck watching and doesn't recognize that he and his teammate are taking up the same space. Something that is easily fixable just by taking time to check over your shoulder to see where players are positioned as well as communicating with your teammates. Not a huge knock, very few prospects are perfect at this from day one, and it's something that Boldy can improve on next year at Boston College. Let's get into some stats now to end off this video. This is one of the strongest teams the national team has produced in quite some time. Looking at the program's last 10 years at the U18 level, 4 current players are among the top 12 in points per game. Boldy checks in at number 18. He's in some pretty good company with Alex Tuck, Josh Norris, Colin White, and JT Miller, but his production this year hasn't been eye-popping. Looking closer at how he ranks on his current team, Boldy is 8th for forwards in even strength ice time and 9th and 8th respectively in points per 60 and primary points per 60. So he's scoring at an adequate pace for his deployment, but again, nothing staggering. His 5v5 goals for percentage of 57.5 ranks him 11th on the team, which isn't too impressive either. If we look at his points by game breakdown, Boldy has been pretty consistent this year, having not gone longer than a 3-game pointless streak. He gets most of his points in the way of primary points, with 41 of them being either goals or primary assists, good for 76%. He doesn't rely on the power play to score either, as only 33% of his points came on the man advantage. Something new that I wanted to try to track this year was looking at who his most common scoring partners were. He had the most success with Trevor Zegras and Alex Turcotte, and his next 4 after that are all pretty even. It's interesting that he only had 2 points with Jack Hughes, showing that he rarely played with him and therefore wasn't being propped up by Hughes' ability. The other new tracking project I looked at this year was strength of competition, which is reflected by points per game versus the league. Here, Boldy put up 1.3 points per game against USHL competition and an impressive 0.94 points per game versus college teams. When playing internationally against some of the best players in the world for his age, Boldy managed a 0.75 points per game. Matthew Boldy is a new age power winger that relies less on brute strength and more on IQ and finesse, along with a big frame and strong legs to have elite offensive ability in tight around the net and below the hash marks. He isn't someone who will lead a rush up the ice and drive play with his speed or quickness, but he has the hockey IQ to make the right plays that will give his team the advantage. I think he projects as a bona fide top 6 winger at the least, and if put in a position to succeed with a highly skilled center, he has the skill and IQ to become a star in the league. Another new thing that I'm adding to these videos is a grading system on a prospect skill set. I like the baseball grading system of a 20 to 80 scale, with 50 being the average. These grades are based off how I project these skills into the NHL, so not his current ability. I gave Boldy a 45 in skating, which is his weakest ability in my opinion, a 70 for hockey sense, a 55 for his shot, 50 for physical game since he doesn't go out of his way to make a big hit but uses his size effectively, and a 60 for puck skills. The last thing I'd like to mention about Boldy is that I love his mindset. He is dedicated to improvement, and he quotes, "I hate getting off the ice and feeling like I didn't get better. If I don't go to the rink every day and work hard, somebody else might be." So if you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, I would really appreciate a like, as I spent quite a bit of time researching this video and trying to make this the best possible scouting report I could make on Matthew Boldy. I'd also love to hear your feedback on some of the things that I've implemented into this video, such as the tracking things that I've done and the new grading system for their skill set. I'm trying to up my standards for these videos, so any feedback is appreciated that I could then take in and apply to the next video. So yeah, with that being said, thank you once again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing and joining all of us on whatever this journey of life is, and yeah, stay calm, keep your head on a swivel, and have a great day.